I do have a few questions for you, Patricia, before we open it up to the audience. We're watching the film today. I was really amazed by the coloring of the film and the way you work with certain color schemes in your different films. And I think it's very, very striking on this film, or you go for a different set tone. Is it something that inspires you when you work, like looking at art, looking at colors, looking at paintings, you know, the way they work against each other? You can think about the opening scene with the flowers and Isabelle Huppert in the flowers. It's also a very different tonality of colors. So I would like to talk about colors with you today.
Okay. Okay. Well, it's because, you know, most of the decisions, it's like when you are an actor, you have to put circumstances and around, and it makes the work, in fact. So it's the same. It's the same kind of thought that put me into working the colors with Simon Beaufils, the DOP, because in fact we had two circumstances. We had Bordeaux, which is a fucking city I hate, and we had Isabelle Huppert, meaning that we had to find a house with the walls with colors, because if the walls were white, it would be too tough and too hard to light on her, okay? So we had to find a house with colors, and it was really tough because rich houses in Bordeaux, they were not opened for us, and we only found rich houses on sale, and every rich house on sale in Bordeaux is white. So it was really a stuck position. So in fact, I called Isabelle because I remembered she had friends who had a house in Bordeaux. And I told her, give me your friend's number because I'm going to call them to ask their friends if they have colored walls to let us go see it. And so I called Isabelle's friend and she said, come see my home. And we shot in her house. And because we changed everything in the house, but not the walls, not the colors of the walls. And it was really around those colors we built all the other stuff. It was nice to have complex colors for Isabelle's house, and to oppose the primary colors in the jail corridor. You know, yes. It was fun to have the jail being modern, and to have the house of Isabelle being old, all that, you know. And concerning the flowers, in fact, my problem was Isabelle, again, meaning that she is working on so many films that, you know, in fact, we see Isabelle. Of course, we see Isabelle. Okay, we have Isabelle, we see Isabelle. It's great, okay. But we have to find, in a way, to give, I thought that we had to give a few minutes to the audience to check Isabelle, and then at the end of the first scene to see it's not Isabelle, it's Alma. To have a lapse of time, you know, and this time would be good to see she's depressed, she's wavering, she's stumbling, she's unbalanced, and when she gets in the car with the little cakes, we know it's Alma. We are in a fiction. So we needed this time to be in a fiction and to know it's Alma and not Isabelle only again. And then it, being rationally, logically, then it was interesting to have Hafsia come out from the documentary. You know, Isabelle comes from the big mellow, looking like a crappy perfume advertising a little bit with flowers, you know. And then from the documentary, from the tough ladies in the visiting hours waiting room, then we come with the funny girl who is pretending to be collapsing, you know. So then, yeah, she's acting out. Thank you. So then it was the beginning of the film. It was really good to know we had very strong social circumstances, but the film was more like a mellow on a light tone. So we had to build this grammar in the beginning. Okay, long answer, right? I hate the English title. Do you? What do you think of it? It doesn't go.
The French title is really great.
Yes, but you know, in other countries, the people, they changed, they didn't use visiting hours because they thought, or in Korea, she made up, the lady from the festival, she made up a great title. It was something like, The Lady Who is Jailed in Her House in Bordeaux, but in Korean, you know, it's nice. You know there is going to be a story, you know? Yeah.
I'm very jealous of the Korean lady who came up with a better title.
Yeah, I was impressed.
I failed you.
No, don't worry. It's if it is bought in the USA,
yes,
tell them to change the title. Because if it was a Wiseman documentary, it would be a great title, but it's not, you know? Yeah. If Wiseman makes visiting hours, I go see it right away, you know? But for this film, it doesn't go.
Also, what I like in the French title, it's the use of the singular, which makes you reflect on, like, so which one is it?
Yeah.
And then you keep elaborating on this.
Yeah, but the story of the title in French is a nice story because the title has been found by Alice, the producer who is here. She found the La Prisonnière de Bordeaux title, meaning the French title says the prisoner from the city of Bordeaux. And in fact, because it was nice to see that the ladies, the women who are visiting their husbands or their sons or their father, whatever relative you have in jail, I mean, you are not in jail, but it is as if you are in jail. You are a prisoner yourself. And the lady who distributes the film, she wanted to call it at first The Prisoners, because all of them are prisoners. But it was like a little bit TV film boring, right? And so it was good that she changed again and went back to Alice's title, because she thought it's interesting because the audience can wonder. The audience on the poster sees two girls, and if on the title it's only one, you wonder which one is one, you know?
It's like a book by Proust. I would read the Proust book called La Prisonnière de Bordeaux.
Yeah. Okay. It's also like La Princesse de Clèves. It's Romanesque. Yeah.
So to go back a little bit on the color, do you work at all on storyboarding with just coloring, or is it just like something that you think in your head? You know, you mentioned the house with like the different sort of coloring, and the prison is very modern with the yellow on the doors. Yeah. Is it something that just you talk with Simon Beaufils about, or do you use yourself like storyboarding with like lots of coloring or something like that?
No, the coloring was in the it was the work between Simon, Dorian, the set director, and me before to work on the colors. For instance, Dorian, the set director, he painted himself the painting in the waiting room for the jail. It was we built all this place. It was not in the real one. We couldn't go in a real jail for everything. We just shot one day in the real jail, just the corridor. But everything else was in studio because you cannot interfere with the jail life. Yeah, okay? So, you know, and everybody knows you can't go in a jail like if you go buy a burger at McDo, right? So it's long and tough. But in terms of getting the shots ready, it's always the question to know how long you have to shoot the stuff, you know. So I thought the story had to be shot in a very humble way, but we in a very straightforward and humble way. That was, and we had very little time to shoot the film, so it was to go to the bone all the time, and that's it.
You said at the introduction it's a movie about tenderness at first, but you will reflect afterwards, or maybe it's not so much about tenderness. But there's something that's striking also in this film, but I think in general in your film, it's all the enigma and the way where you, as an audience member, you're always going to be surprised by what's happening. You would think that it's a simple story, but it's never as simple as one is led to believe. And it's the element of surprises, which come in the way you make all your film. You never know from one to another what to expect. And within one film, where you're just always a little bit on edge, because you think it's going one way and it doesn't. So it's way more complex than what you would see on paper. You know, it's like two ladies on opposite sides that meet, and you know everything is groovy, and it's not at all. And you can see it from scene to scene, and you can see it all the way through the film. So it's something that you think about from the beginning, or just you just like to. Direct.
The story of this film is very long because at first it was not my film. It was a film for Pierre Courrèges, who was thought by Pierre Courrèges. He's a director from France, very good guy. And he had the idea to have a rich woman and a poor woman meeting in the waiting rooms for going see their husbands. But the script was, and he worked with Bégodeau for 6 years, and they couldn't make the film, so they proposed me to do it. And at that point, the script was just dialogues, and we never saw the husbands, and they were just talking. It could have been a very good film about exploring a social place, right? But in fact, I cannot do that. Just talking, you know. I couldn't do just a film with talking, or talking like 1 hour and a half. We talk, and we go see our husbands, but we don't see the husbands. So I couldn't. So I said okay, and I said okay, but we are going to work on a story. I needed some story, a little bit. So on a story where the poor girl is going to steal the rich girl, but it's going to save the rich girl. That's this paradox, this complexity of something that can be bad, which is in fact good, was really interesting, I thought, to explore. And because otherwise many films you can see what's going to happen, you know, and I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
When you see Liberty Valance from John Ford, you don't expect what's going to happen, right? He's very good. But we are not that, but we are trying to be good, not to surprise, to keep the attention. And it was interesting that it was two little destinies, and to make them, to transform those two ladies in heroines. Yeah, like for me, Hafsia is a princess, and Isabelle is a queen in a way. And the princess is going to save the queen.
Thank you, because it's true that we want to be surprised because we watch a lot of movies, and if you know from the beginning what's happening scene by scene, it's not something that you want to revisit. And I think as a filmmaker, you need to be very conscious about keeping this element of interest, but at every level, because from scene also in the film, you jump back and forth from one to the other, the queen and the princess, and you manage to put both of them in a really, really strong position that are complementary and opposite at the same time, which must have been quite interesting to work on with both actresses. I don't know if they worked together before, Isabelle and Hafsia?
Yeah, well, in 2021, they were involved in this film, but then Téchiné asked them to do a film, and they shot this a little bit before my film.
Okay, so they've just worked together before, but it wasn't the plan when you worked on them. They had not.
No,
okay, well,
it drove me crazy. Yeah, I was really pissed off, but doesn't matter.
I don't think I've seen the Téchiné, actually.
Okay. Your problem. No, but we can speak about it later, not in public. No, but it's a good director, it's not the problem, yeah.
But also I think because they had not worked together before, that element of opposition and complementarity is quite important. So it's interesting when people are meeting for the first time, and how do you act against Isabelle Huppert, who's, so experienced, but also you've worked with her before, so you kind of knew a little bit how to... Not really director, but what you would expect from her. Hafsia has a more natural way of acting, but
here she is very different.
She's very different, and I've never seen her like this.
But it's because, in fact, maybe I was so pissed off at the Téchiné being shot before that I decided to work on Hafsia to change, so that the people won't mix the two films, because so that's why she has, and she doesn't want to cut her hair, and which is okay because she has beautiful hair, but she's a small girl, so I asked her to
fill up,
to get bigger, to be more fat, so that Isabelle and Hafsia were it's like Laurel and Hardy to me a little bit, and exaggerating, of course, but to have this incredibly complicated hairstyle, put her like a queen, and made her taller, and to put her on high heels and all that, so that she doesn't be like a little mushroom close to Isabelle, Yeah.
That was where I was getting out.
But then it was an acting tool for Hafsia too, because then, the hair was tough on her hair, so it was. I told her, open your eyes more, open wide your eyes all the time, because you have to be like Marcello Mastroianni. And so that's what she does. She's a very great actor. It's the only thing I told her. Yeah.
No, it's great.
Yeah, but she knows very well what to do in a shot.
I would like to get some audience question too, and we have microphones. But I can't see anything. So please raise your hand, and the microphone will come to you.
There is a lady up there. Yeah, I see arms. But I speak so long that everybody wants to go get a coffee. Yeah.
I don't know if I missed the significance, but what did she sign over? The paper that the husband signed over. What was that for?
Which paper?
The doctor.
It's okay. The paper when she visits her husband, Isabelle Alma. Okay, it's paper for the company of the hospital, the clinic. You understood that he was a doctor. Okay, so she brought him the l'Assemblée Générale paper. The paper from the accountants every year for the clinic. He has to sign because he's an associate. That's it. It doesn't really matter. It means it's business paper in a bourgeois relationship of business. Were you troubled by this? No, she steals all the painting. Yeah. I mean, Mina gave her a very good idea, you know? So then she said, okay, because she's very resilient and brave. When she goes to the last visit, she knows they don't love each other anymore, but she's so she's so resigned she's so in acceptance on her future terrible, sad life that she decides to be brave and to try. She says, let's try again. This is going to be my life. I hate my life. So then, in fact, she feels betrayed when she's stolen by Mina. But then she understands, and very quickly she resolves everything by stealing her husband, you know, and freeing herself. Yeah.
It's like Renoir, chacun a ses raisons.
Yeah, you say it in English.
It's like in the Renoir, the game, everybody has their own reasons, or everybody has their reasons, I think it is.
Yeah.
I think I saw someone else moving.
Là, il y a un monsieur.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for this film and this discussion because it illuminates a different way of looking at this film. My question is, why did you pick that painting to be stolen? Because the way I looked at it, it's a collage, and if you see these people of the two main characters, they're both fractured, and collage is also fractured in a way that the painting is stolen and setting the queen free. The painting could be, the stealing of the painting for me looked like it was a repatterning of what both of these women could be. Thank you.
Je comprends pas le truc de la. Oui, she steals the painting. Oui. Oui. Déchiré. Oui. Torn apart. Everybody is torn apart. Yeah. But she steals this. That's what, you know. Mina is telling the truth to Alma when at the sea she says, "This is so stupid to be." Even Isabelle says, "Okay, he wants to keep me, and he offers me those torn apart posters, you know, which are very. It's one of the first French people for street art. The painter who did that." And it's very impressive because it's huge stuff that he was tearing apart from the street and then putting together. But to me, it was very ironic that this is the painting that she steals, but this is the painting that the husband gives the wife to keep her when she wanted to go away, you know. So that's it. No.
I did have more questions, but I wanted to give there's someone.
Là, il y a quelqu'un là-bas. Quoi? Ouais.
Thank you. I just wanted to tell you that I'm thrilled that you took this picture over from somebody else because you've done an unbelievable job. And when I first saw the name of the title of the movie, I sort of looked past it. I didn't choose it. But I saw that Isabelle Huppert was in it, and so that is why I chose to see the film. But I thought, visiting hours, it's going to be two people talking in a visiting. I thought it would be so boring. And then as the film unrolled, I thought, oh my gosh, it's so complex in this film. There's so much going on. And the whole ending, it was fabulous. Thank you very much. I'm so glad you took it over. And I'm glad I saw it.
Thank you.
It's mostly a comment.
It confirms that Visiting Hour is not a good title.
But did confirm that you made the right choices too.
No, I don't know. You know, for instance, Philippe Faucon, I told them when they offered me the film, I told them, if you want the script to be this, ask Philippe Faucon, he can do something wonderful with that, you know? But...
We wanted your touch.
No, whatever, but, you know, maybe they kept me because it's good to have a woman directing and all that shit, you know? I don't know.
Well, thank you so much for coming today
You're
and
welcome.
talking about your movie. La musique est géniale. Hein?
Ouais.